You might need to retire, Peter. Your memory seems to be bad.
Edgar released Peter's throat with a shove. He wasn't in the mood to have anyone else disrespect Alisandre in front of him.
It must be bad. How could I forget? You are here to wed this wonderful woman.
Peter tapped his mouth with his hand, scolding himself for making such a comment.
I apologize for the comment, miss.
I wasn't offended by it. It must be strange for someone to come to get married with a coat covering their head, Alisandre replied.
The church has seen stranger things. Now, hand me the rings.
Peter held out his hand, waiting for the rings to be placed in his palm.
You do have rings, right? Only the engagement ring.
Edgar placed his hand in his pants pocket to fish out the ring he collected a while ago.
Do you like this one?
He showed it to Alisandre.
You haven't shown her the engagement ring yet?
Peter placed his hand on his forehead, almost stumbling backward by how unprepared Edgar was.
If the lady is not pregnant, please come again another time or plan a proper wedding.
Edgar looked behind Peter to a small pile of wires near the altar.
Give me a bit of the wire.
He walked past Peter with the intention of making 2 makeshift rings. He would have proper rings delivered in the morning.
He didn't even say please,
Peter muttered. But with Edgar distracted, he decided to talk to the woman standing beside him.
If you are marrying him just because he is good-looking and rich, think again. I keep telling everyone marriage should only be about love. Are you certain you want to go through with this?
Yes, Alisandre answered. Nothing in this world could change her mind. Peter looked over his shoulder at Edgar, still messing around with the wires.
He can't hear us, you know. You can be honest with me. I took an oath to never repeat what you tell me to anyone else.
I truly want to marry him, but thank you for your concern. Peter sighed, knowing this wouldn't end well. But the young women who visited were always blinded by what they thought was love. They all wanted to get married, but had no idea what they were permanently signing themselves up for. He gave her the chance to think about this, but since she was adamant, he gave up. I would like to ask for one thing. Do you perhaps have proper masks lying around? I don't like to show my face. It doesn't feel right to stand with a coat over my head while you wed Edgar and me. Alisandre wanted to remove the coat altogether and show her face, but could not bring herself to.
There is nothing about this union that feels right,
Peter muttered. He felt like the only sane person here.
You are in luck. Every time there is a masquerade ball, we get a few women and men come here bawling their eyes out, either about the person they love announcing their engagement to someone else, or when it was time to take off the masks, they are shocked by who they have been entertaining all night long.
Peter could never agree with anyone claiming the church to be boring. There was always something odd happening.
No one has ever returned to collect their masks, gloves, or shoes, but we stored them in a box just in case they ever come looking for them. Sometimes people come wearing large hats or veils to hide their identities, so no one would know they are coming to confess their sins. Would you like a veil instead?
Peter found it to be more fitting for the occasion. Yes, thank you. Alisandre couldn't be happier the church had such things.
What is your name? I will need to write it down on paper for our records. I've never heard your voice before. Have you never once attended a wedding or funeral?
No, I have never attended either of the two. This is our first meeting. My name is Alisandre Barrett, soon to be Alisandre Collins, she replied.
Alisandre Barrett. Where have I heard that name before?
Peter looked up at the church roof for answers.
People claim that I'm cursed and you will die if you... That's you!
Peter exclaimed, but quickly clammed his mouth shut when he caught sight of Edgar in the distance glaring at him.
Forgive me once again. I am not normally like this, and I never expected you would walk into the church.
Alisandre played with her fingers, suddenly feeling nervous.
Those rumors aren't true. I am not cursed. Do you want me to leave? Of course you are not cursed. Only a fool would believe such a thing. Please don't misunderstand my words. I heard the Baron rarely allowed you to leave home, so I never expected to meet you. The church would never send anyone away. We take in any and everyone, regardless of their past. The church has become a place for criminals to run and hide. Be a little bit more cautious, or you might shelter the person who wants to take your life.
Edgar warned Peter.
I think that person is here right now,
Peter said, followed by a cough as he was referring to Edgar. He always knew if anyone were to kill him, it would be Edgar.
Here you go, Alisandre. I will get the papers and everything else to perform the wedding so you two can be on your way. I'm sorry there wasn't another priest available. Peter talks too much. He could talk for days, a skill he used when scamming people before turning over a new leaf.
Edgar loudly spoke to irritate the priest.
We met through him trying to scam me. I almost cut off his hand, and somehow he ended up becoming a priest.
Oh. Alisandre was lost for words. She couldn't connect how Peter went from scamming to becoming a priest.
You don't need to hold on to your past forever. Move on and find something to make you happy. Once we have collected your belongings tomorrow, there is nothing you need to ever revisit with that house,
said Edgar.
I know. If I hadn't met you that night and my father told me about going with William, I would have abandoned everything and run away. I don't know where I would have gone as I have no money, but I would never return to that home. My father is gone, and my mother is nowhere to be found. I am letting go of my life as a Barrett from the moment I say I do. Unfortunately, I know Katrina and Kate will come looking for me.
Alisandre sighed, knowing tomorrow would be chaotic.
I will keep them away from you,
Edgar promised. No one was allowed to step foot on his property without his permission.
No, I will handle them myself. You have already done a lot for me, and as much as it would be easier for you to deal with them, I must handle this on my own. As your wife, many obstacles will be placed in front of me, and I cannot depend on you to solve all of them. I will see to it you don't regret doing this with me,
Alisandre said, fully determined to become a woman who could stand on her own.
I am never going to allow anyone to mistreat me again. And if anyone tries to do the same to you, I might just kill them.
My, what an interesting woman I am marrying.
Edgar chuckled, highly entertained by Alisandre promising to protect him. He was right in thinking back then she would become a woman to flip the town upside down.
I have a feeling our married life will be entertaining.
How can it not be when the rumored monster Duke and the Baron's masked daughter are getting married?
Alisandre could hear the gossip already.
I am ready. You two should make your way to the altar,
Peter said from the altar.
Did I mess up a moment between them?
He wondered after realizing how cozy they looked as they spoke. Alisandre stayed behind to place the veil Peter gave her over her head, while Edgar went ahead. The veil was see-through, but not enough to clearly see her face. Alisandre took a deep breath before walking up to the altar.
I did this. I changed my future,
she said, as she glanced at Edgar while she approached the altar. Offering Edgar a contract marriage was the best thing she ever did in her life. Reality suddenly hit Alisandre how proud of herself she should be for making the move to get out of her childhood home, rather than waiting around for someone else to help her. She opened the door to leave her cage, while Edgar offered her a hand to help her step out of it.
Please turn to look at each other.
Peter instructed the couple once they were side by side. Regardless of his opinion of Edgar, he hoped this marriage would be one full of love. Peter picked up the 2 makeshift rings Edgar created to hand one over to each of them.
One of the richest men in the kingdom, and he gives his bride a ring made of wire.
He couldn't help but shake his head.
Dear friends and family,
Peter began out of instinct, but then paused when he remembered there was no one here for the couple.
am I supposed to say everything?
He leaned closer to Edgar to ask this.
Skip to the end,
Edgar replied, rolling his eyes as he deeply regretted not going to another priest.
To listen to the full audio series, install the Pocket FM app now.